Hey, Crossridge, it is Thursday and we come back to the Psalms today. Today we are looking at Psalm 10. It's a little bit of a longer psalm, so we're going to tackle it in sections. What I would say about this psalm is that part of what it teaches us, at least, is that appearances can be deceiving. Let me begin just by reading the first 11 verses for you. It says this: "Why, O Lord, do you stand far away? Why do you hide yourself in times of trouble? In arrogance, the wicked hotly pursue the poor. Let them be caught in the schemes that they have devised. For the wicked boast of the desires of his soul, and the one greedy for gain curses and renounces the Lord. In the pride of his face, the wicked does not seek him. All his thoughts are, there is no God. His ways prosper at all times. Your judgments are on high, out of his sight. For all his foes, he puffs at them. He says in his heart, I shall not be moved. Throughout all generations, I shall not meet adversity. His mouth is filled with cursing, and deceit and oppression under his tongue are mischief and iniquity. He sits in ambush in the villages, in hiding places. He murders the innocent. His eyes stealthily watch for the helpless. He lurks in ambush like a lion in his thicket. He seizes the poor when he draws him into his net. The helpless are crushed, sink down, and fall by his might. He says in his heart, God has forgotten. He has hidden his face. He will never see it." Appearances can be deceiving. In this first half of the psalm, it really looks like, from all appearances, that the wicked are prospering, that they face no consequences. The verses really describe that the wicked person sometimes lives with immunity. There's no consequences to what they do, and they have ingenuity. They devise all sorts of different ways of doing evil. We could think of a couple of cases that have been prominent in the media in just the last couple of years. People like Jeffrey Epstein, the British financier who had a private island. Later it was discovered he was a sex offender and a sex trafficker, but that went on for years undiscovered. Or we could think of Harvey Weinstein, the Hollywood mogul, Academy Award winner, ultra wealthy, ultra powerful. Sexual abuse allegations came out in 2017, and then it was discovered this has been going on for years. It's what launched the whole Me Too movement. These are not isolated incidents. Lots of people seem to live with immunity to their actions and have ingenuity. They devise all sorts of ways of doing evil. But appearances aren't always the full picture. And so the rest of the psalm, verses 12 to 18, give us a different perspective. And here it says, "Arise, O Lord God." Or, "Arise, O Lord. O God, lift up your hand. Forget not the afflicted." Why does the wicked renounce God and say in his heart, you will not call to account? But you do see, for you note mischief and vexation, that you may take it into your hands. To you the helpless commits himself. You have been the helper of the fatherless. Break the arm of the wicked and evildoer. Call his wickedness to account till you find none. The Lord is king forever and ever. The nations perish from his land. O Lord, you hear the desire of the afflicted. You will strengthen their heart, and you will incline your ear to do justice to the fatherless and the oppressed, so that man who is of the earth may strike terror no more. And what those verses remind us is that God sees and that God acts. He acts to both help the sufferer and to judge the wicked. Now, sometimes when we read verses like we find here, especially a verse like 15, where it says, break the arm of the wicked and evildoer, we wonder how we're supposed to take that. Is that an appropriate prayer for us as Christians to pray? Some struggle with that. And I would say the short answer is yes, it is. That we ought to desire God's justice. Now, I know there's questions about that, and I actually thought that next week we would spend some more time just talking about some of these psalms that we find. They're called imprecatory psalms that call curses on enemies. What are we supposed to do with those? So we'll do that next week.